Why don't you look in the eyes of the people of the state of Florida and say to them, if you're reelected, you will serve a full 4-year term as governor? Yes or no? Yes or no, Ron? Will you serve a full 4-year term if you're reelected governor of Florida?
We did not agree on the candidates asking each other questions. Governor, it's your turn.
Well, listen, I know that Charlie's interested in talking about 2024 and Joe Biden, but I just want to make things very, very clear. The only worn-out old donkey I'm looking to put out to pasture is Charlie Crist.
Oh, the crowd just eats it up. They go wild. Even the Democrats are like, that was a good one, Ron. So as we get into the final stretch of the all-important midterms, do Republicans really have the wind at their backs? Let's meet tonight's party panel and decide together. We've got Washington Times opinion editor, Fox News contributor. He gonna put the hurt on you. It is Charlie Hertz. We've got Democrat strategist, radio host, and also a Fox News contributor, the luscious Leslie Marshall, and senior editor at Reason, who always posts very cute pictures of his dog. It is Robby Soave. All right, welcome everyone. And Charlie, let us get into it. Let's talk a little bit about this Florida debate. What did you think of Ron DeSantis versus Charlie Crist? It is a tighter race than people assumed.
Sure. Of course, that one zinger right there, I thought summed up the entire debate. It was a great line. Obviously, it's what got picked up the most. But no, at the end of the day, Democrat, and I think the problem that Charlie Crist has in Florida is a little bit different, just because he's running against somebody who has a record in Florida, has a very good record in Florida, who's able to present a case for getting reelected. And it's sort of the inverse of the problem that Democrats have everywhere else, where they are running as, having been in control in Washington for the last 2 years, in control of all levers of power in Washington, and have absolutely nothing but misery to show for it. And Republicans are able to feast on that misery that people have. And so it's, and I think it is going to be a red wave. But I think, if anything, we're understating how big of a red wave nationally we're going to actually see in 2 weeks.
We do not know. I mean, there's still so much that can happen between now and the election, and so much of it comes down to issues and what candidates choose to talk about, as you know, Leslie. So, I mean, this is one that I don't think is a winner for Democrats, and that's talking about gender transition surgery for minors. There are a lot of people who, I'm one of those people. When you are 18, I don't care what flag you fly. I don't care what you do to your body. I don't care who you are with or how you identify or what you declare yourself. If you want to be a birthing person with the beard, have at it. Have a great time. But I do draw the line at those surgeries for kids, and I think this is a losing issue for Democrats.
I honestly don't think it should be an issue for any politician, my party or the Republicans. I think this is like you're a parent, I'm a parent. This is something between the parent, the child, and their doctor. I get so tired of politicians trying to put MDs after their name. And I would agree with you. That's not a winning issue. It's certainly not an issue that's top of mind for voters on my side of the aisle, or certainly the other side of the aisle.
Well, it seems to be Democrats who are bringing it up with some enthusiasm, which is frankly odd.
I only saw Charlie bringing it up with enthusiasm so far in a debate. I know some people might have cringed, but I would say to this Charlie's point, if Florida is an extremely red state, and even though you're talking about a red wave, and I've already said I believe Republicans will have the House, but I do think Democrats are going to end up with the Senate, you should see numbers, and you should see a margin much higher in the favorability column for DeSantis, and you just don't see that. There should be more than one line that takes the night, and it shouldn't be this close. It shouldn't be this close. All metrics
and all outlets have the governorship in Florida likely Republican. So Charlie Crist isn't up in any poll. So close is good in hand grenades and horseshoes, but not necessarily politics. The W is the W, even for people like Stacey Abrams and Donald Trump. So, Robby, let's talk a little bit about Oz versus Fetterman. How should Oz handle this debate tonight, Robby?
Well, look, he has to go for it because he is slightly behind, according to the polls, and I think it's still more likely a Fetterman pickup. But he has a huge opportunity because he is a TV man, and you know what? Frankly, Dr. Oz has, I think, not been convincing to any segment of even the Republican electorate. I think there's a lot of acknowledgement that he was not the dream candidate for really any faction of the conservative movement or for independents or for anyone. So, you know, he has a chance to prove that. And Fetterman has done nothing. Look, obviously his medical situation is unfortunate, but it is a reality, and voters have every right to judge his mental fitness based on it. I mean, I'm sorry, that's just true. We're picking, this is an important role. There's only 100 people who get to do this job. So Dr. Oz should pursue every, you know, rhetorical tactic available to him to convince Pennsylvanians that he's the right man for the job. And it is going to matter because, as you said, we are talking about a race in Pennsylvania, in Nevada, in Georgia, in Arizona that is going to decide. Look, we know we're going to have divided government because Republicans are going to take the House and Biden still has the White House. But the Senate could really go either way. And we'll see. It could hinge on this debate performance, frankly.
Yes, that's a great point. That's why all of this matters. And what really matters to voters right now, still very much inflation and the economy, and a lot of those other issues are just distraction in terms of what really, really resonates with people right now.